Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you a spoiler-free review of The Girl Who Played with Fire by Stieg Larsson. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. The Millennium trilogy was actually not supposed to be a trilogy. It was supposed to be a series of 10 Swedish crime thriller novels written by Stieg Larsson, but unfortunately, Stieg Larsson passed away after having completed the third book in this series, hence it became a trilogy. And also, all these 10 books were supposed to be focused on the girl with the dragon tattoo who's Lisbeth Salander. I have the review for the first book already in my channel. I'll link it up in the description, in the iCard and also down in the description, so you can check it out if you want to. Also, if you have not read the first book, don't worry because I'm not going to spoil it in any way while reviewing this book. The premise of the first book is that we have this company called Millennium, which is a part of the media. And the problem with Millennium right now is that it is going down in standards due to a lot of issues that it's facing, and there's a great chance that Millennium needs to be shut down. At this time, what happens is that a journalist named Mikael Blomqvist, who's a part of Millennium, gets this incredible case in which he has to find the murder of a girl named Harriet who was murdered more than 3 decades ago, and what are the repercussions of her death that are being caused after 37 years or more than 30 years from her death. In order to solve this mystery, he joins with this incredible hacker named Lisbeth Salander, who's actually the girl with the dragon tattoo, and how they both come together and solve this mystery, what happens between them and how they separate. That's the actual story of the first book. It might seem like a normal story, but the work that has been put into this book is so extreme, and I'm sure that while you pick up the girl with the dragon tattoo, you'll not be able to put it down because it is so engaging and not put downable in any sense. Moving on to the second book, which is The Girl Who Played with Fire. Let's see how this book actually starts with the plot. Okay, I said that both Mikael and Lisbeth, they separate at the end of the first book, and the second book starts up after nearly a year after the end of the first book. And what happens between the time of the end of the first book and the beginning of the second book is that Lisbeth Salander, who's the hacker or the girl with the dragon tattoo, goes on a vacation. Okay, she goes on a long vacation and she spends a lot of time doing certain things. She does certain things in order to make herself better and also to better things in her life. What happens is that after nearly a year, she returns back to Sweden, and Mikael Blomqvist throughout this time has been in search of Lisbeth Salander, but he knows that he'll not be able to find her because she's so very good in hiding stuff, and she's totally an introverted person. She's so violent, she's so gifted, she's such a brilliant hacker, yet she manages to be out of the blue always. Okay, she manages to be hidden always. So what happens is that after Lisbeth comes back, they both, that is Mikael and Lisbeth, they meet accidentally, and Lisbeth just avoids him and walks away. And after all this happens, Lisbeth goes and meets one of her old friends named Miriam Wu, and both of them, they live together for a particular amount of time. And Lisbeth, she makes some offers to Miriam, which she also accepts. And during all this time, what happens is that there are 3 murders which happen in Sweden after Lisbeth returns to Sweden. The problem with these murders is that the person who actually first witnesses the bodies of the dead people is Mikael Blomqvist, while he is in search of Lisbeth Salander. He takes it to the police, and certain things come together in order to frame that Lisbeth Salander is the person who actually killed these 3 people. And apart from just meeting Miriam Lu, what happens is that Lisbeth also goes and meets one of her mentors or guardians in life, and he's having a difficult medical condition right now. So she offers money and tries to bring him back together to life, and all these things are going on. But the 3 murders are the main piece of the story that build up the entire book. Now, why Lisbeth Salander actually killed those 3 people, or who killed those 3 people? It is Lisbeth Salander or someone else. But most of the evidences show that Lisbeth is the only person that's primarily suspected, and also she has the maximum probability of having killed those 3 people. And also there are certain things which contradict this. That is, the people who actually know Lisbeth Salander don't trust that she might be the person who might have done these 3 murders, because they don't seem like things that she might do. Has she done the murder or not, or who else has done the murder? If she has done the murder, why she has done them? That's the actual plot of this book. Now let's see something about the characters of this book. Now the characters which appear in the first book don't appear to such a great extent in the second book, because the cast of the first book was actually for the improvement of the plot of the first book alone, which was done pretty well in that one. But when it moves on to this book, we get a lot of new characters and also new relatives of the main characters who do play pivotal roles throughout the story, but they are not that much important. Actually, Mikhail Blomkvist itself is not that important when it comes to this story. Some of the characters who make great twists throughout the story are Miriam Wu, who I said as the friend of Lisbeth Salander, and also there is this other guy called Paulo Roberto, who just comes for like the last 100 or 200 pages of the book, but he does he does make great turning points throughout the book. So while you start seeing Paulo Roberto, please be prepared, because there are going to be certain twists which come in the story due to him, and he does them in such an elegant way. Okay, I like that a lot. And also, apart from all of these characters, the main two characters, Lisbeth Salander as well as Mikhail Blomkvist, are there. But Mikhail Blomkvist is not developed in such a way. He just seems to be as such as he was in the first book. There's no character development when it comes to Mikhail Blomkvist, but when it comes to the main character, that is Lisbeth Salander, she has gone improvement in her character in a great drastic way, guys. We get a lot of the history of Lisbeth Salander. We actually know a small amount of her history from the first book itself, but if it was this much in the first book, it is this much in this book, because we actually go through her life, okay? And it's so difficult to even think and visualize how Lisbeth, being such a young girl or such a young person, was able to endure all such stuff and also have the grit to live further upon and actually defeat certain people whom she has gone through in life. That has been great, and I'm sure that she's becoming one of my most favorite characters of all time. Moving on to the pacing of this book, the first book, which is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, was excellently paced, guys. I'll not say that that book was slow in any sense. From the first page to the last page, it was action-packed, it was great, it was not at all put downable in any sense. When I put that book down at any instant, it was either due to some work which I had to do or certain things which are totally unrelated to the mood of not reading, because anytime I picked up that book, it pulled me more to read more pages, and it made me read one more chapter every day. And when it came to this book, it was not in that sense. Actually, I started this in a reading log, which also I'll try to link up there and down below. I was actually planning to finish this book in a single week's time, but it took me 2 weeks to finish this one because it's a bit slow. Okay, I'll say you the reason why. Just like the first book, the second book also starts out in a great way, okay? The first 100 pages of the book are so good. They build the story in a great way. That's the starting point of the story. It's done excellently by Stieg Larsson. But when it moves on from page 101 itself, if you ask me, it is slightly boring. And it just extends that boringness up to like page 400 or 450. And only the first 100 as well as the last 100 pages of the book are perfectly paced, and they are so action-packed and fast-moving. But when it comes to the middle part of the book, it is totally slow. And I also do think that this book need not have been this big, okay? He might have at least cut down 50 or 100 pages and made the content a bit less dragging. There's a lot of build-up in this book. I'm not saying that there's no build-up at all, but if all this builds up the third book in a great way, I just love this one. But if there's nothing to do from this one with the third book, I'm not going to like it that much, because I spent a lot of time reading all those stuff, and I wouldn't have spent that much time reading stuff which don't actually make any sense moving further on in the series. And my overall thoughts on this book is that I rated it 3 stars. It was good, but it was not as good as The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, because the first book in the series, it set up the bar so high, so this didn't satisfy that in any sense. The blurbs in the book actually say that this is better than the first book, which I totally am against, because the first book was so great, guys. Even if you go in without knowing anything about the series, you'll feel the first book is better than the second book, because that really was something different. But this was different, but it was not, it didn't feel like the part of that series. That's it of my review for this book. And if you have read this one, do let your comments below, because I'd like to discuss about this book with you guys. And that's it for today. If you did enjoy watching this video, don't forget to give it a big fat thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.